Good morning and welcome to part 2 of Glacier National Park. I'm at Rising Sun, which is on St. Mary's Lake. It's on the east side of the park. Now this morning I'm going to get going to Many Glaciers area, do some hiking, and then I have a campground reservation there tonight. Now I'm going to hang out here by the lake for a little bit, and there's actually a general store and a hotel, so I'm going to pop in there really quick before getting going to Many Glaciers. To get to the Many Glaciers portion of the park from St. Mary's, you actually have to leave the park, and I'm actually headed back into the park right here, and this is Lake Sherburne. Okay, we made it to the Many Glaciers Hotel. We'll tour around this a little bit, and then we'll head up towards the campground. Okay, this is the Swift Current Creek, and that's pretty much going to wrap up my tour of the hotel area. We're going to start heading up to the campground area and do some hiking. Okay, so I'm doing my major hike for the day. I'm on the Swift Creek Trail, started at Many Glaciers, and as you can see, it's raining just a little bit. It's actually a little bit worse just a moment ago. So as far as how far I go on the trail, it'll either be, if the rain gets worse enough, I'll turn around. If I go an hour and a half each way, or if I somehow manage to make it to the Bullhead Lake. So there you go. This is the Swift Current Creek. Okay, so I made it to Bullhead Lake. It was actually shorter than I anticipated. I did go a little bit further on the trail, and now I'm back here at the lake. It's interesting, there was a ranger out here on the trail, and I've hiked a lot, and I know that there are rangers that do patrol the backcountry. I know this is a very popular trail, so that probably does increase the number of rangers that they have come out here. So talked to him for a little bit, but I'm headed back now, so there you go. Nearly back to the van. I'm gonna stop at one of these shops or buildings to see if they have any of this huckleberry ice cream that I've been hearing about. Well, this area is pretty busy. I mean, the whole park is very busy pretty much all the time, and right as I got to the end of the trail, I was trying to shoot an update, but some people walked by, and then there was a car, and so it just didn't work out. And of course, I'm doing the update in the van now, which I don't really care much for. I'd much rather be doing updates and talking outside or doing something else. So like I was saying, I went and got some huckleberry ice cream, and then I came over to the campsite, checked in, if you will. It's more that you just go to the campsite, and then the host may or may not check you in. I don't really know how they do it at this particular campsite. The rest of the evening, I'm just going to relax, because tomorrow I'm going to have the biggest hike of all. I'm going to go to the Ice Burg Lake, which is probably about 10 miles, maybe a little bit more round trip. So I think tonight I will go to one of the ranger-led talks. I think it's about research, so it should be fascinating. Here's a little tour of the campground that I'm staying at tonight. So you just saw the Swift current motor in like lodge area, general store, but they do have these little cabins to rent. Good morning. I'm already on the Ptarmigan Trail, headed up to Ice Burg Lake. It's fairly early. In fact, I got up much earlier so that I could move my car from the campground to the Swift Creek Motor Inn parking lot. I figured it'd already be packed even at 7, but it really wasn't. And I also found out that there's more parking directly at the trailhead, but it's kind of confusing to get to that parking lot. Now, if I were staying another night at the campground, I would have just left my car in the campground. So there's that. It's about 10 miles, like I said yesterday, so it's gonna be a long one. I should mention that yesterday when I was on the trail, I ran into the ranger in the backcountry. I talked to him for a few moments, and he said that it's going to be a 200-person day up at the lake. But he also says starting next week, it's going to be up to 600 people per day. So it's pretty wild. This is Ptarmigan Falls. Scenes like this are what it's all about. Waking up early, hiking many miles, but at the end of the day, you can't beat this. I'm almost to Ice Burg Lake. This is just a smaller one right next to it. Looking at the maps, I don't see a name for it. Here is the first shot of Ice Burg Lake. Here it is, Ice Burg Lake, and it's pretty awesome. So hang out here, have something to eat, enjoy this as long as I can before it gets too crowded, and we'll head back to the car. You might notice the water is rippling here. There was an iceberg that rolled over. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch it because I was eating at the time it rolled over. So I think what we're looking at is what's called the Ptarmigan Wall. All right, I made a little detour and came up to the Ptarmigan Lake, added about 3 miles to the trip, so I'm going to do about 13 miles today. Behind me, the trail continues up that ridge to the Ptarmigan tunnel. Someday, if I ever get back here, I'll definitely want to do that hike. So I'm going to start heading back to the van. So Lake Ptarmigan wasn't as spectacular as Ice Burg Lake, but some of the views coming up and going down would make it worth the trip up here. So, and since it may be a while before I get back here, might as well knock out both these trails. So there you go. Probably it's going to take about 2.5 hours to get back to the van. So I'm in for a little hike. I made it back to the van after spending about 7 hours on the trail. I'm going to head into the grocery store. The Many Glaciers campground doesn't have any showers. However, the Swift Current Motor Inn, I guess, has some restrooms and showers that you can use, but of course you have to pay for those. So I'm going to try to get a token, use a shower, and then we'll head out of the park. So I pulled over one last time. I'm just about to exit the park. What I will say is I really didn't see a lot of wildlife, a lot of small stuff. I did see a couple of mountain goats and one moose the entire time that I was here. So it's really unfortunate, but yep, just a moment, we'll be outside the park. And with that, I'm leaving Glacier National Park. It's been an amazing 4 days. I got to see a lot and learn a lot. I want to thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. And I also encourage you to subscribe.